Hey Raj, I just started recording.
Sure. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen and
Is there audio?
Raj,
Raj,
we can't
you
hear
are.
it.
I don't
Oh, you
hear
can't?
anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, so sorry. Okay.
Raj, no sound.
Well. That was Invention Factory in a minute for you all. So, very warm welcome to everyone. We have Professor Alan Wolf and Eric Lima from Cooper Union in New York, who are the founders of Invention Factory. And we have Mr. Madhu Wadali. He is the assistant professor at IIT Gandhinagar, and he has been running the program for more than 3 years now. And we have Mr. Ankit Dubey, who is the assistant professor at IIT Jammu, who would be running the program this year. And we have some alumnus with us. We have Mr. Kuldeep Kumar, Chirag Satpathy, we have Arvind P, who are the winners, who have been the winners in the past editions. And yeah, so now I would like to invite Professor Alan Wolf and Eric Lima to please brief the audience and take it from there. Thank you.
Alan, why don't you start?
I will. So, hi, Alan Wolf. I'm a retired physics professor from the Cooper Union in New York. I'm also a patent lawyer, which is very central to Invention Factory. We started the program in 2013. We've run it in the US for 11 years, in India for 4 years, 5 years. In a nutshell, in 6 weeks, you will go from zero, not even an idea for an invention, to a proposed invention, which will either be upvoted or downvoted by other students and the faculty. And if your invention, when your invention is upvoted, you will spend the next 5 weeks designing it, prototyping it, and pitching it. By the end of 6 weeks, you should have a working prototype of an invention that is very impactful, by which we mean it should either have some important impact on society or some potential for great commercial success, or both. You will be judged on the impact, potential impact of your invention, on the persuasiveness of your pitch. You have to demonstrate need. There has to be a need for this invention in the world. The program is very, very intense. You will work 5 or 6 or maybe 7 days a week. You will work increasingly long hours as you get through the 6 weeks. And also by the end of the 6th week, you will have completed what's called a provisional patent application. You will file that in the US and in India. That's the start of the patent process to be able to protect your invention. Eric, do you want to add to that?
Not really, except that it's an incredible amount of fun, a lot of bonding, and you'll be working with people from all around India, and you will be generating your own ideas, and you will own your own IP.
I want to say one thing. Eric called me last week. I live in Texas now. Eric is still in New York City. He called me and said that one of the winners from Invention Factory in New York City had come into his office just to chat. And she said, you know, Invention Factory just changed my life. It changed my career trajectory. And she said, all of the other students who were in the program that year, their lives have been very much changed too. And that's the most important thing, is that this is not just something you do for 6 weeks and sort of move on. Is hopefully this will encourage some of you to be more creative, more inventive, maybe more entrepreneurial. We'd like to see that this has an important impact on people's lives. I can keep talking, Raj, but
Yeah, we could keep talking.
I saw
Yeah.
that it was allotted, that we were allotted 5 minutes for this, so I'm happy to stop talking.
Yeah. All right. Great. So now
I'm
I
gonna
think,
talk for a second. I'm gonna talk for a second.
yeah, please. Yes,
I'm
please.
just gonna show, generally this is not, we would do something a little bit better. This was a winner of Invention Factory in Cooper Union last year, 2 years ago. And it's called OptiDrop. And the way it works is when you have a eye drop, you know, it's often very difficult to try to get it in your eye. And people, especially if it's expensive, some of these are expensive, they're medicated, you miss, you drip it on your eye, you make a mess. And so there's a lot of products actually on the market that are there to try to help you get these eye drops in your eye, and they come in various like cups and gadgets, like, you know, complicated looking things that basically nestle over your eye, and none of them work well at all. And so a group decided that they're going to make a better eye drop, and it's one of the inventions that I really like. And the way that it works is it screws on to any or most bottles, okay? And you stick your fingers in, and then you put your fingers, your 2 fingers here, your thumb and your first finger, and you open up your eye like you normally would to put an eye drop in. But this motion actually activates, squeezes the eye drop, and it drops a medicated drop right in your eye in the natural motion. And so it's in before you blink. It's really an elegant solution, very, very simple. It went through dozens, maybe 25 prototypes before it was in its final shape. Easily mass produced, definitely a problem that's easy to understand, it's easy to solve. Your solutions can be as simple as this and win. It doesn't have to, you know, be complicated electronics. You don't have to know, you know, very advanced engineering. It's really about identifying a problem and making an elegant solution for it.
I'd like to add a few words to this. One is about the need. The number of people who have to use eye drops is huge. A huge number of people have glaucoma or other medical conditions where they need to do eye drops. Other people want to do them because they have irritation or something. The number of people who use eye drops is in the hundreds of millions. So there is the need. And the particular problem that many people have, especially when they're first doing this, is they have a reflex to close their eye. So they try to squeeze a drop in and their eye closes, their lids close. And so this is a serious issue. That's one thing. The need was easily established for this. This is not saving people's lives. You know, this is not a recreational executive desk toy. Those are great too. But there is a need for something like this. The other thing is the elegance of 2 simple pieces of 3D printed plastic. Great inventions, as Eric said, but I want to emphasize this, do not have 700 components and 3,000 features. When at the end of week 1, when we are evaluating proposed inventions to see whether or not they are upvoted and can move forward, we're going to look to see if this is an elegant solution to a problem. And elegant usually does not mean hundreds of pieces and features.
Well, all right. That was really insightful, guys. So now I would like Professor Madhu Vadali and also Professor Ankit to just give us a gist about what happens in these 6 weeks. Like now we have a broad overview about the program, but I'm sure the students might want to know what happens in these 6 weeks, basically.
Ankit?
I would say, Madhu, you start, and then
Okay. So I think there is a nice algorithm that is followed over 6 weeks, right? When you start with few days before 6 weeks, when you are coming here, you identify a partner through some sort of ice-breaking activities, could be a bigger challenge, could be small challenges and whatnot, and you form your teams. Week 1, Monday of week 1, you start to ideate. You really, what Alan was talking about, you really identify a problem where there is a significant need of an innovative solution. And then you work with us, the coordinators, to really brainstorm deep and to come up with a solution that is novel. Along the way, you also learn what is novel. In other words, what is patentable, right? And you pitch the idea to us. And depending on how the coordinators and the participants vote, you are either going to continue to do that, or you will revise, come up with a new problem or a better solution, and so on and so forth. Week 2 through week 5, that is 4 weeks. Each week, you are going to pitch your problem and the proposed solution to guest evaluators who come from a variety of backgrounds, right? They're people who are not just academics, people who are out there in the industry, teachers, doctors, people who are homemakers, and then people who are lawyers. You pitch them, you pitch it to get a feedback, whether is the problem really important to solve? Is the solution that you are proposing really going to address the problem? And you also have to convince them that it is indeed patentable, right? And then along the way, there's going to be one-on-one coaching on how to improve your pitch, how to address the answer, address the questions, and you move along. And the last week is when you pitch your idea, the final judgment day, to a fresh group of people who have never seen your pitch. And that is what is going to decide whether you go home with 2 lakhs, you go home with 1 lakh or 50,000, right? But regardless, by the judgment day, all of you would have learned and would have completed to write a patent application, right? And you would have filed that. You would have prototyped multiple versions of your solution, and you would have demonstrated that it indeed serves the need and addresses the problem that you have identified. I don't know, does this summarize everything that they're going to do over 6 weeks?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
yes. So
Yeah,
I would like to just add. So this is what you are going to work on for the 6 weeks. But apart from working, there are so many other things that you are going to enjoy. So basically, you are going to get connected with your snacks. You'll be provided, like, okay, we'll provide you a short trip for the places near around. You'll be going to trekking and all. So these are incentives that you are going to get apart from the work, apart from the basically the prize and everything that you get. And coming to the kind of facility that you are going to get to work on is, like, we have the tinkering lab set up at all these sites. We have different labs. So basically, if your problem needs, okay, if your solution needs something from the lab, which is in the chemical engineering, if your problem needs something from the mechanical engineering, from the electrical engineering, or any lab that our institute has, that will remain open, that will remain accessible for you. So that you will not say, okay, I could not do this because I don't have this facility and all. You'll have to innovate. And you can use all this infrastructure that we have. Apart from that, let's say if you need some component from outside, if you want to go to local market to get something done, you are free to do that. We'll provide you access to all these facilities once you will join this program. And I'm really sure that once you'll identify this problem, once you are going to create a kind of solution, new solution, a novel solution, you'll write a provisional. But once you will go back from this program, you'll be a changed person. You'll start appreciating each design that you will find in your home. So earlier, like let's say in your daily life, you are looking at something like just the charger. So how elegantly this is designed, why these things are placed here, why not here? Okay, so it will create a kind of curiosity. It will revive the curiosity that you had when you were a kid. And now you will go back with this mindset, and probably this will help you in your career and for the rest of your life as well. Thank you.
I'd like to add something to what Ankit just said, and an analogy. I used to be very into photography, like very into it, and I would take lots of pictures every day. I had all sorts of cameras, and I was so into it that I would look at something around me. I would look at, I don't know, a flower or a car accident or anything. And my first thought was, how would I frame this photograph? Like I was so in tune with taking pictures. And that's the mindset once you start inventing, is you look at things and think, this is not quite perfect. I could do this better. One or two other random thoughts. In the years that we did this only in the United States, we would have an open house at Cooper Union, and kids would come in and look at the previous inventions from the year or 2 years before, and kids would sometimes not apply, and we would say, why not? And particularly students we really wanted in the program, and they would say, we're completely intimidated. Like, I could never do this. And we're like, yeah, you could. Because the experience of students year after year after year is, I didn't think I could do something as good as I ended up doing. Like people look back on what they've created in 6 weeks and they're amazed. And so if you think, I don't know if I have it in me, yeah, you probably have it in you. I said it in the video, inventors are made, not born.
Made. Correct. Correct. Thank you so much, Professor Ankit and Madhu. Thanks, Alan. We have someone from the very initial batch of Invention Factory here with us, and he is also running a successful startup. So I think a little bit about his experience. Everyone wants to know. So Kuldeep, if you can please share your experience and how you are still attached to Invention Factory.
Hey, hi guys. So I'm Kuldeep, and I was from the first batch of Invention Factory in India. I mean, it's not the first batch of Invention Factory globally, but it was the first batch of Invention Factory in India that was in IIT Gandhinagar in 2018. So when I went there, even before I went there, I applied for the program. And considering the application process was very different as compared to other internships or something like that. Just give me 1 second. I will just switch. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hey Raj, am I audible?
Yes, you're fine.
Yes, you can continue.
Actually, my laptop died in between, and then I again had to. So okay, so I was telling that it started with the application process, and when I was in second year, everyone had a first thing in their mind to get a summer internship, and I was also treating this program maybe like an internship or something like that, where you apply, you get some interviews, and If you are lucky enough, you get the internship at the end of it. But the application process was totally different as compared to what other companies do, or I mean, academic areas do, academic institutes and all those kind of things. They require you to make a video, and that video also very specific. I mean, so when you are on the other side of the video, you are making your own video, you don't understand usually what the person or the people who invited the application, they are looking into you, right? So I made my video. I don't remember what I added into that, but somehow I got lucky or they got convinced and like,
We remember.
I
so,
think we asked you to explain why you were a good fit for the program.
okay. So, I mean, I started and then first I reached IIT Gandhinagar, then they had a 1 week, one first week 0 for ice breaking session when I made a lot of connections, friends and all. And till that point, my mentality was like, this is a competition because they had a prize money, 1,50,000 and 2 lakh on something like that. But once you go into the program, you start to realize it's not a competition actually. It's a process of learning and breaking down whatever you have already learned. So whatever you have already, your mentality, it will change completely. First it will break, and then again you will start building it. So I mean, to give you an example, before that point, if I have some idea or I wanted to do something and I will probably want to discuss it with someone, some faculty, some of my friends or someone, and they will, I mean, there are people who give you negative feedback, there are people who give you positive feedback, and I mean, they completely destroy you also sometimes. So before that point, uh, it was very tough for me to take feedback. If someone would say, okay, this won't work, probably I would spend all my night and days and weeks just to prove them wrong. But sometimes you have to look back and see, okay, why it won't work. I mean, what's something that you are missing? Because it's your idea, you will definitely miss a lot of things. So that was one of the most important thing that I learned, how to take feedback. And not all the feedbacks are good, but you have to distinguish between the feedbacks, which one you should take, which one you should just leave. And I mean, that was the first thing which changed. And then it was 5 days the faculties were with us. So Ellen, Eric, and two more faculties were with us. But rest 2 days of the week, they were not with us. Then we 20 students were there in that one room. And then we were helping each other, where we realized, okay, this is not a competition where we are actually fighting for money. This is something that we are fighting for improving ourselves, get a patent out of it, learn the process. That's the main outcome which I took from that whole program. So this actually changed fundamentally a lot of things in me. It built confidence, I mean, how to talk to people and all those kind of things, which nobody actually teaches you in the college or school or but probably anywhere until you specifically target for it. So, I mean, it changed a lot of things, which, I mean, anyone will be lucky to learn all those things. And then once that process ended and I came out of IIT Gandhinagar, I could easily see the difference between me and my batchmates. Just, I mean, the difference within like all of us within the period of 6-7 weeks, right? So the difference was huge. I mean, I was feeling it, and it helped me for my third year, fourth year, and then after college, it helped me a lot. I was not chasing or doing what everyone else was doing. Earlier, everyone had a sense of insecurity that, okay, what will happen if I don't get placed? What will happen if I don't get a company or a job offer or something like that? I no longer had that kind of insecurity in me because I had the confidence that I will be able to do something. And that's how I moved ahead. And I mean, luckily, or I don't know what to say, but yeah, I I I was in a better place after my college also ended, and then I started my own company, startup, and eventually again, startup is again same thing. You meet with people, you talk with people, you get lot of feedbacks, and again the same thing, how to take those feedback. You know when, I mean, when to look down, when to look up, and where to look. And the most important thing is like how to look into the future, because it's life is not only about looking like maybe 1 month, 3 months, or 1 year ahead. It's about looking at the bigger pictures also. what you want to do, why you are running something, if you are running, or are you just like from bunch of like groups, or I mean, are you like the same as others also who are just doing their job, 9 to 5 job, or those kind of things, and they don't know what to do. So that's what Invention Factory changed for me, taught me, and I will always be very like grateful for this program and the learnings which I had. And after that, when the program started at IIT Jammu last year, I just went ahead and I mean just wanted to enjoy the journey once again. I mean, I was not as a participant then, but I just wanted to stay along and see, I mean, make sure that everyone is getting what they need to, the experience should be what they should get. So that's how I am helping. I will be helping ahead also. I mean, in future also for this program, probably for the next program also, and going ahead. I don't know till when, but yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Eric. So, I mean, you have been a biggest support, Kuldeep. So that's a big testament for all of these participants here that you are still attached to Invention Factory. Eric, you were saying something.
no, there was a knock on my
Okay.
door and I told them to go away, but
Oh.
I forgot to hit
Okay.
mute first. Sorry.
Okay. Well, before we take the questions from the participants, I would now like to ask the very, very new winners from the last year, Chirag Satpathy from IIT Bombay and Arvind P, who was in IIT Jammu. They both were the winners of Invention Factory at IIT Bombay and IIT Jammu. So guys, over to you. Just a quick review of your journey. How is it after winning? And yeah, if you could just share.
Hello,
And
everyone.
begin with a brief explanation of your invention, please.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, professors. Hello, Alan. Hello, Eric. Nice to see you guys all again. And yes, so I am Chirag Satpathy. I'm a fourth-year mechanical engineering student, and I was the winner at Invention Factory at IIT Bombay. So my invention was a automatic gas shut-off knob, which was an IoT-powered device which helped to shut off gas valves automatically in case of any mishaps. That's a very short, crisp, how Alan likes his presentation. So I think that's like, I think many people like have told about the how the program runs. I just want to give what has the impact been on me. So this is the one of the profound impact, and I'll tell the story behind it. So I remember during my first presentation, I was speaking too fast, and Alan in between the presentation just told me, go slow, go slow. And every time I give a pitch or any presentation right now, I have Alan haunting in the back, telling me to go slow. So that's one thing. So now my pitches have become better. And
I think you're still too fast right
Still
now.
speaking too fast.
Slow down.
All right. So yes. So apart from that, the people you meet in this program, like I cannot say, like apart from making the prototype, filing the provisional patent, I think the more impact is the people I met, the conversations I had with the professors. I remember Nishant sir, Chandra sir, Amber sir. You could have fruitful conversation with them, and not just about the work that they're doing, about your future, getting some help from them. Same with Alan and Eric. They were always more welcoming to tell us where we're going wrong. No, this will not work, upward, downward. Clearly, they'll tell us the truth on our face. So for me, that was a very, a holistic development that I had in this program. And I would say, like, again, I will tell the good news right now. So I applied for my master's this year, and because I would say of Invention Factory, I have been admitted to Carnegie Mellon University in master's in mechanical engineering and a dual degree in engineering and technology innovation management. So I do not know how to thank Invention Factory for this, because in the program, I understood a lot about the program, and I understood how I could contribute to innovation. And that's what I wrote in my SOPs. So, and Damayanti ma'am also was grateful enough to give me a letter of recommendation for this application. So that's it, guys. Like, I don't want to say much. Don't take much of your time. Apply for this program. Don't think about it. If you're the fence, just apply, and don't worry about what you will learn. I'm pretty sure you will come out as a better person, 100 times a better person after this program. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my end. And yeah, if anyone else has a question or something, I'll like take up at the end of it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chirag. Arvind, you might want to share a little bit more.
Hi, hello, everyone. Very good evening. I'm Aravind, a third year mechanical engineer. I graduated from IIT Madras. I participated in Invention Factory last year at IIT Jammu, and it was a really great experience. Those 45 days are the most memorable days of my life, I would say. It was a totally emotional journey, as Eric would mention. We traveled through lots of ups and downs. The guest evaluation sessions were really exciting. The feedback mechanism incorporated into this program is really useful, which we cannot encounter in any part of our educational system as such. This is a program where we make our own product, and that was the most fascinating thing which I liked about this program. I learned a lot of things from this Invention Factory, especially how to convince people that your product is worth, proves as a good solution for your problem. To the extent that convincing people is a bit harder than making the solution in itself. So it was a really exciting journey, and I would also recommend each and every one of you to apply for this and go ahead. It's a really wonderful program to spend your summer along.
Tell us a little bit about your invention.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot about that. My invention was a valved asthma inhaler that synchronizes the airflow with the release of medication, helping the patients forget about the time coordination required to, maximize the drug efficacy.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Arvind. Thank you. Well, just final feedback from our winners. I think Women's Day is nearing, so we have some women participants as well who won the Invention Factory at IIT Jammu and Bombay. We have Rishika and Anika. Guys, if you can please unmute and speak a little bit about your journey, and then we'll take the questions.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Hi Alan. Hi Eric. So I am Rishika. I participated in Invention Factory at IIT Jammu last year. My product was the steam operated boilover inhibitor. Talking about my journey, I would say this is the best program that you could spend your summer in. Unfortunately, I can't participate it in again because there is a rule you can't do it 2 times. So I would say the program started. Everybody was anxious because you have to develop a new product, and we couldn't come up with great ideas at that time. But and most of my juniors, they have asked me, Didi, how would we make something in 6 weeks? So I always say to them, don't worry, you have enough capability, you just don't know. And these mentors there would help you to take out that capability out of your mind. So I would say the takeaways I got from Invention Factory was, first, it bends your mind in a great way. You start looking at the world in a very different way. You start appreciating designs that are very precise. Second, you make great friends. You make friends all over IITs in India. Third, you get a lot to write in your resume. As Chirag said, he got into some university. Similarly, whenever I'm in third year, whenever I go for an interview, the interviews always ask, okay, why is there the word patent in your application? So you have a lot to tell in your interviews about Invention Factory, and I would say that's the biggest pros of this Invention Factory. And it changes your career definitely. I was confused to go in core or non-core, but now I'm pretty sure I'll go with core because now I know the scope, or I can say I can do something in this.
Thank you, Rishika. Anika, if you can go next.
Hi, I hope I'm audible. Good evening. I'm Anika. I was part of the Invention Factory IT Bombay last year. So I couldn't agree more to everything that you guys said. It was like if you have 6 weeks in summer and you want to utilize in the best possible way, just apply. And if you get in your, consider yourself lucky, because I remember one of our mentors telling it, that we were all in the middle of the journey and we were both hopeless and we wanted to make something out of it. So we were all in a very stressful phase. And she said, Hasina ma'am, I guess, she told, like, if you are here with a group of people who are ready to help you with everything in terms of ideas, in terms of guidance, and you're with a lot of other students who are out there with their ideas and enthusiasm, and you're in the best place. So just if you're there in one of the 20 people, that is the best thing you can have. And when I look back, I definitely feel that I am really grateful to be one of you, one of the like alumnus here, because it turns you, like, you can have a 360-degree change once you get out of the program. You are more confident, you get to explore how much you can put out from, like, you must have done some projects in your college or school, but it's like you are not fully utilizing your potential, I guess. But here you are having a lot of support, not in terms of guidance, but also you are actually building a product. So you can see the results in 6 weeks, and you're showing it to people from diverse backgrounds and getting their feedback. And you also develop a great communication skill, because uh, I was very uh, bad in communicating my ideas. So by the end of the 6 weeks, I could convince everyone what we made, and I hope they all liked it also. So it was a very big perk for me, because Hasina ma'am, a lot of thanks to her. She helped me figure out how to communicate effectively. So there are so many things that you wouldn't expect so many things to turn around good by the end of it, but it is going to be a very nice experience. So if you have a chance, then just go for it. It would definitely be a great experience when you look back.
Thank you, Anika. So I think we are good with the reviews from the past participants. Guys, now the floor is open to you all. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, or if you want, you can drop your questions in the chat box. I would request the professors to please address the questions. And yeah, we can begin, guys. So over to you guys.
Key qualities that we look for: curiosity, excitement about an opportunity like this. There are things that are nice, but not critical. Do you have experience with electronics, 3D printing, laser cutting? That's nice, but that's not critical. Often those skills are acquired during the program. What we want are students who look at this as an opportunity to learn about inventing, to learn about the patent process, maybe becoming entrepreneurs. Excitement, energy. I don't have a background in engineering. Does that mean you're not an engineering major?
I think that is what it means. But so we are really seeking applications from engineering students and design students, right? I think that is what we expect. I think one of the questions says that you know, if you're a first year student, we welcome them, right? We are there's no barrier as such, regardless of which part or which year that you are currently in. That is all right.
I see a
Tentative.
question about teams. Sorry. Teams are always 2 students, never 1 student, never 3 students. You will meet the other, there are 20 participants per site, 3 sites. You will have to pick a partner or find somebody who's willing to work with you from among those 20 people. If you have a friend who applies and the 2 of you are both accepted and are at Jammu or at Bombay at the same site, you can choose to team up. We don't pick partners, but you do have to pick a partner from among the other 19 people at that site.
You have shared the dates with the students, right?
Yes,
Or is it because
it's May end. We've already done
Somebody
that,
asked that.
but yeah, it's there on our website as well, so that will be done.
someone asked when and where would this take place? So I think there's some confusion as to the dates
think-
and
Yeah,
stuff. So I think
So these
we
guys
better
have
be clear.
not gone on the website, basically. I will do that, Eric. I will share it.
Can
with
you
them.
post in the chat, can you post the link to the website?
Sure.
So just to give you, it is gonna happen at 3 locations in India, at IIT Jammu, IIT Bombay, and IIT Gandhinagar, right? You may be assigned any of these 3 locations if you're selected. And like what Alan was saying, if you and your friend really apply, there is nothing that guarantees that you end up in the same location. And the way we try to distribute students or assign participants to different locations is based on the diversity of 20 students at each location. So 20 students each, and total of 60 students for the Invention Factory this summer, right?
Often a good team of 2, they can be students with the same sets of skills, but it's nice maybe to have one person who's extremely technically competent and the other person is good at research and writing. That can be a very efficient way to work, but it's not necessary.
I'm Yashray. I'm an applicant and I have a question. Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
guys have said that we have to submit a YouTube video for 2 minutes. So I would just like to know what we have to mention in the YouTube video, like what are you expecting us to tell in it?
It would be nice to sell yourself. So during the program, if you're accepted, you'll be pitching your invention. So in this video, you would be pitching yourself. So you would introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background. That's probably 15 seconds. Tell us about what interests you, what excites you. Have you done building? Do you have a curious nature? But rather than just asserting, I'm a curious person, do you have anything that's sort of evidence of that? I've been building model airplanes since I'm 5 years old. I've been doing robotics. There's no particular one thing that we're looking for, but we need somebody, we need people who understand what this program is about, that this is going to be an intense journey, which should yield some fabulous creation by the end of 6 weeks. And we do want to say, among other things, the excitement for that. But people give very different videos. There's no one magic formula for this.
There is no problem, as far as I know, if you're from a design school. That was one of the questions. It's engineering and design. And sometimes it's very helpful to have a engineering student with a design student, because the skill sets in terms of prototyping, thinking are complementary to each other.
I remember we had 4 students from design in 2018 in Gandhinagar, and they were very good. I mean,
in terms of software and hardware, it cannot be only software, but it can be hardware mixed with software. And the decision we made with not just software was very practical. We didn't want to be in a room with a bunch of people typing all day. We wanted to see people making things. So it's got to be some. Now, many of the inventions done by coders, EE people, didn't have any software at all. Just because you're a coder or an electrical engineer, it doesn't mean you have to do that. You can make something out of cardboard, for example.
One of the most impressive winners of Invention Factory in New York City was a team of two. One was an electrical engineering student, one mechanical. They invented a new kind of cardboard box, which was amazing. So just because you're a certain kind of major doesn't mean you'll end up making an invention in that arena.
There's a question about if final year BTech students can apply. Yes, right? You can apply. That should not be a problem.
Sure.
Is it compulsory to form teams there? Yes, it is mandatory that you form teams there. You don't form teams and come here because the selection is happening as individuals, not as teams.
Yeah, so
Yes,
there is one more
there's-
query, like I'm a part of Solar Decathlon India competition where we are already developing a product. Can I continue from there? So it's not, you cannot continue any ongoing project. So you'll have to come here, you'll have to generate a fresh idea, and then you'll have to work on that. Am I correct?
Yes. And along the lines of what you can't do, during this 6 weeks, you can't do anything else. You cannot be in some online course. You cannot go and do athletics. This is all day, every day. So, you know, if you think I need to play soccer in the middle of the afternoon, all right, well, it's too hot in the middle of the afternoon. If you want to go off and swim for a couple of hours in the afternoon, that's not happening. We don't take breaks. We work from morning to 5 p.m., say, and there are no breaks. We work through lunch. So no part-time jobs, no activities, no clubs. For 6 weeks, your hours.
That's a lesson that I want to make very clear. You know, there is nothing else that happens. That's one of the key things of Invention Factory, is a total immersion. And, you know, people have been removed from the program because they didn't understand that. So be very sure that you want to do this.
In chat, I'm sorry. In chat, I'm seeing a lot of questions that you guys, some of you probably just sort of dropped in on this without sort of checking out the program, but these questions are all answered online. No, you don't get the location of your choice, dates, all of that. No, there's no cost for the program, et cetera, et cetera. These are things we shouldn't take time on here because they're all on the website.
I think there's one question saying that I'm from Triple IT. Will there be an equal preference in selection process for IIT and NT? So I think Madhu or Madhu.
No, I think we're going to base it based on the application, and that's it.
We don't care about your grades. We, you know, we had 2 students at Cooper Union who on a 4.0 grading scale had 2.0 GPAs, barely passing, and they won first prize for a terrific invention. So we don't see any correlation between your grades and your performance in the program and your ability to invent something.
And this is not open for master's students. It is only open for bachelor's students, right? So there's a question that I'm a master's student at IIT Bombay. To begin with, you're not eligible. And 2, we do get a sense that you want to stay at your parent institute. There is a comfort zone, but the program is such that unless and until you are not in home, then you really are not giving it the full throttle. So if you are from Bombay, any institute in Bombay, that does not guarantee that you will be allotted IIT Bombay.
In fact, there's a good reason for us not to have you at Bombay because you're too likely to want to hang out with friends and do activities on your own campus. So
time and again, we have had people, for example, they're not from IIT Gandhinagar, but they live in Ahmedabad, which is right next door to Gandhinagar. They made requests of going home over the weekend. All that is not allowed. right? So you are here for 6 weeks, right? And let me also give the bright side of things before you feel prisoned. There isn't gonna be a time in your life where you're gonna spend 6 weeks doing one thing and one thing only. That I can guarantee. The alumni of Invention Factory can vouch for it. It is impossible. Even if you are in the hostel at your institute, you're still doing 6 different courses and 10 different projects. But here you have an opportunity to do one thing, and then you will do it well, right? So you're not going to be doing other things. But we'll do a lot of things here. We're going to have pizza parties at night. We're going to watch movies together, right? So we understand that it has to be fun, and there will be avenues where you can vent all the frustration with us, and you will be frustrated with us at some points, right? But that's part of the program.
The question is it open to private colleges this year?
Yes, it is.
Does that mean all colleges, all engineering schools? What's the scope of that?
All engineering colleges, yes.
So there is a request, like there is a question, shall a commerce student apply for this? So unfortunately not, they cannot apply.
Not this year, but
Not
maybe
this-
maybe next year, because in the US, the program ran at Syracuse University for a few years, and then they went off in their own direction because somebody else wanted to fund it with a lot of money and put their own name on the program. But we had students who were psychology majors, and every major you can think of, they did perfectly great inventions. If they didn't have huge technical skills, they made inventions that took advantage of the skills that they had. And we put almost no limitations on inventions. Yes, you do have to get upvoted, and we don't allow pure software, and we don't allow chemical inventions, chemistry. But other than that, anything that can be done within your budget, anything that's safe, you can invent. So some people will do electrical things, some people will do mechanical things. We've had students who made inventions that involve just a lot of sewing of cloth or making 3D bits of plastic that apply eye drops. It can be anything. So the issue of major is something that the program is going to have to consider a bit more broadly next year, but not this summer.
I think just to add, perhaps we didn't mention, so there on the website. So each team will get 50,000 rupees to make their prototype, right? And you use it as you see fit. Of course, you get the necessary okays from the coordinators. And that's it. There have been cases where people have went over 15,000 and they were never able to complete their prototype. But so you have to manage that. In addition, you will also get a stipend of rupees 10,000 for the entire duration here. Just so that also adds an additional incentive for your presence beyond the bragging rights of calling yourself an inventor at the end of the program.
Sir,
I want to
shall,
say, sorry, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes, Anu. You can unmute.
sir, shall I comment, sir? Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Sir, shall a commerce student apply for this program, sir?
We just
Even
answered
no,
that. No.
yeah, this year you can't.
Sir, because I am very much interested in making my idea a reality, sir.
So that's the attitude that we like. It's up to the people in India to make this decision about admission. And I think they're sure that they only want engineering students this year, but maybe next year.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I want to say something
Um,
very brief.
Alan, can I
About-
just comment quickly
sure.
on, yeah, so Gokul, I would
Yes,
say
sir.
just drop in an application. If something changes along the way, then you have your application in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, what I was going to say before Madhu spoke was, when I said no, I hoped you weren't going to listen to me. You should apply anyway. And make your passionate plea to enter the program.
One thing I want to say is, even if you have an idea, you have to have a teammate that agrees with that idea, and that idea has to be upvoted by the rest of the students at the end of the first week. So sometimes what you'll find is that your idea isn't all that good. So it's not like you're going to come in and 100% build the idea that you thought you were going to.
To expand on that a little bit, in the first week, there are 20 students who may have 20 ideas, but there can only be 10 that move forward because you have a team of 2. So if you come in with an idea and can't find somebody from the other 19 students who wants to take on your idea, then you'll have to go with somebody else's idea. And in the first week, the primary thing we do, or a big thing and a primary, is we shoot down bad ideas. So you might, in that first week, propose 10 things, and the faculty will shoot down 9 of them, or maybe even all 10 of them. Because we don't want to have you move forward or try to move forward with a bad idea. If we don't see the need, the reasonableness that you could complete a working prototype in 6 weeks, that you can do it within budget, et cetera, we're not going to upvote it. And the kindest thing we can do is shoot down a bad idea. And in week 2, when you present to outside people, to guest evaluators for the first time, it's a kindness and terrific if the guest evaluators, there'll probably be about 8 of them, if they say, bad idea, no need, can't be done, and they shoot down your idea, because starting over with something else may be the best thing to do. We've had people change their inventions as, in a moment, please. We've had students change their inventions as late as week 3, even 4.
Yes, Diksha, please go on.
Hello, sir. My question is, like, this time lots of master students are also applying for this program. So what is the possibility that bachelor students will get the opportunity to, like, get selected in this program? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're
Yes.
audible. I'm not sure who's going to answer this question.
Madhu, I think we are clear that, yeah.
So I thought, I just wanted, I was checking the website if there is some miscommunication. This is only open, at least this year, it's only open for undergraduates. This is bachelor students, not master students.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
While we are answering questions, we have Mr. Rohinton Mehta joining in. For everyone who don't know him, he is the founder of Meka Bhavan Foundation and also the brainchild behind getting Invention Factory to India. So Ron, you would just want to speak to the audience here.
Oh, sure. I've been actively listening and sending my comments in the chat section. So very quickly, for those of you who are on the call, I was evaluator, God, many years ago at Cooper Union in New York. I live in New Jersey, and it attracted me so much that another colleague of mine called Avinash and I, who had been involved with Alan and Eric's program at Syracuse University, that we pitched it to 2 other friends of ours, Hemant Kanakia and Raj Mashruwala. So the 4 of us have been supporting this program with help from another India-based, very successful lecturer called Sudarshan Saraf and many others. And we have now had this program has seen more success. I think Alan and Eric will agree in India than in the US. Am I
Yes.
correct, Alan and Eric?
Absolutely.
It has received national recognition. And I think if you see a post, one of the things that you will learn, in addition to generating and honing your inventive skills, is how to pitch. Because even an inventor has to convince others, which in future, as you take up jobs and you are assigned projects, how to communicate. Communication is a soft skill which you will actually greatly enhance during this program. So I strongly encourage all of you to consider applying. And while we are on the subject, Madhu, I think we should start making some exceptions even this year. Just like the student who was saying he's a commerce student, and I think you suggested that he should put in his application anyway. My suggestion is that we make an exception even for MTech or MS students. And why not let them apply if that's what they want to do? I think we are also considering this year a different mix. We are going to allow a few students who actually have graduated and who are working in industry. So that will be a good mix if we are going to allow students who have entered the job market in their very first few years. It makes no reason why we shouldn't allow master's students. That's just a thought. I'm not saying we should do it, but I leave it open to the founders and to the faculty members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Yeah, so do we have any more questions? If you have any more questions, I will drop in an email ID where you can drop in your questions and we can try and answer to most of them. I think they're good. Otherwise, Madhu,
Just a last comment. I think we make offers as and when we see a suitable candidate. That means that tomorrow morning, if we see an application and we see the student is a really good fit, one seat is taken off, right? So we're not going to wait until the deadline and then evaluate all the applications. So it's done on rolling basis. So the earlier that you apply, the better it is.
I'm going to throw in a final remark too. Yesterday, I sent Ron and Eric a video, actually a TikTok video, because I'm a TikTok addict, despite my age, my advanced age, about the importance of communication skills. I don't know how many of you IIT students or other students listening can really appreciate this, but employers may rank communication skills above technical skills. That may be hard to believe, but if you see how poor the communication skills are of many brilliant engineering students, they can't be used in the workplace. I did spend 1 year as the Dean of Engineering at Cooper Union. Many companies came in to give me like a courtesy visit, and they all said the same thing. We love Cooper Union students. They're very, very, very smart. Their technical skills are unparalleled. But could you work a little bit on their communication skills? They can't talk to clients. They can't communicate with coworkers. And we will whip you into shape during the course of 6 weeks. You will learn how to effectively communicate. You get up, you state the problem you're trying to solve, the solution. You field very tough questions, and you probably have never had any kind of public speaking experience quite like this. That's all I have to say.
I wish you all the luck and apply as soon as you can, as Madhu mentioned, because it's like as the seats get filled up, we have a very hard stop on total number of positions at 60, 20 at each IIT Gandhinagar, IIT Jammu, and IIT Bombay. So the early bird catches the worm, as they say.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thanks, Alan, Eric. Thank you, Professor Ankit, Madhu. Thank you to all the alumni who have joined in. It was really good interacting with everyone. Thank you, Professor Navneet, as well. He is the newest addition to the lot at IIT Jammu. He's going to be the professor in charge. Thank you to all the participants. We look forward to having the applications from you. And have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, guys.
Nice to see everybody.